Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and the next Rally Point came out. They're going to be covering a lot of stuff. The first part is going to be James Given here, and he's going to be talking about the basically arena transitioning over from a closed alpha to a closed beta. And in doing so, they're going to bring this spotlight showing the new Barbarian Factions, with the first of the faction leaders going to be Arminius here, who obviously famous for the destruction of the Roman legions. And then they show off some of their abilities like Frenzy, which allows you to have much better attack but low defense, and then Infiltration, which allows you to actually have some of your units take on the appearance of being on the enemy's side. So very, very interesting type of change. And then he talks about how the Barbarian light units play differently and how they're slowly starting to expand this, and that they're also introducing new maps. This one, for example, is supposed to be the Rubicon, has very close deployment between the two areas where you start off. The bases are very close, lots of awesome terrain. So I haven't been able to cover too much of Arena lately. I did love it back in the day when I was playing it. I haven't been playing of it too much, but this is definitely renewing my enthusiasm to give it a try. It's just my internet is sometimes a little patchy, and I'm waiting for the US servers to go up, which they did announce would be coming soon, so that'll definitely help my situation, and hopefully we can share more of this. Next, they're going to move on to Warhammer, which is going to be the major focus of this, and it's going to be pretty cool what they're actually going to announce. And so what they're going to be first talking about is that they have 4 main races at the start, but that they're planning to cover all major races over the course of the 3 games. On the left is going to be that map from the Humble Bundle store that showed, not without very many details, but kind of showed a map. So what are we going to be covering here? Well, we do know that on the right, you can see here I've highlighted 4 of these 14 major factions. The 4 here are the ones that have been confirmed for the initial game. If you look at where the deployment is on that Humble Bundle map, they would mostly be in the north and center. So a lot of room to be expanding to the south, the west, and the north, especially for the ogres and the different elven factions here. So I think my conception of this is that this map is going to be the trilogy map, and that you only start off with the middle of it and that you slowly piece it together. Alternatively, if you look at the fact that they did say that they're going to cover the major factions, that includes the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves and the High Elves. Where are those guys going to fit into the map here? Is this just a small slice? So I think it's awesome that they're going to cover all of these. And they did, however, say that there is going to be DLC where you can get playable races and such things like that, but also that playable races will be free LC. So perhaps they'll reserve the major ones to be buyable content, and then other minor ones, like for instance Kislev or Talea or Estalia, things of that nature, could perhaps be free LC. So that's very exciting. Then they go ahead and talk about one of the free LC lords that you can get. They did mention that lords are something that you may have to purchase in the future as they introduce new ones, because these guys have their own story narrative and all sorts of stuff attached to it. So anyways, the one they announced here that's going to be free LC in the future, we don't quite know when, is going to be Wurrzag, Great Green Prophet. So he has the advantage of making tribes bigger and better, and then he can shoot green bolts from his eyes, apparently. His backstory here is what I pulled off from the Lexiconum. It says, Wurrzag ud Ura Zahubo, often known as the Great Green Prophet, is an enormously powerful savage orc shaman, insane just like all shamans. Being a savage orc also didn't help. However, he has great vision of the orcish glory, leading armies to greatness before disappearing to advance another plan for his kind. Right now, he is searching for the once and future Git, and he has magic items created by Gork and Mork themselves to aid him. Unlike most wizards and shamans, Wurrzag doesn't stay at safe distance, but charges into combat to blast enemy with his Wah-driven powers. The enemy wizards who tried to counter his blast with their sorcery generally degenerate into rapid squigs, allowing him to proceed unhindered. His abilities are so great that no army involved with Wurrzag has known defeat. So that's pretty cool. I like this character. I like the green skin kind of approach of getting into the thick of it and combining that with this crazy fanatic, super powerful shaman who gets in and on the mix is going to be awesome. You can blitz in here with that guy. So I thought that was super cool. The DLC stuff, the controversy and the policy surrounding DLC is something we'll get into in the future. I wanted to hold off on that for another video. For now, Andy Hall is going to be talking a little bit about, and he's the lore master, a little bit about the difference between Karl Franz, who's this powerful warrior politician that we know, and Balthasar Gelt, who is the second legendary lore character that they announced. They showed off a little bit of extra content right here. And he's a powerful wizard who they, said is the Supreme Patriarch. He's a follower of the Wind of Metal. He wears a mask, which was part of a past accident. So again, I'm drawing on the Lexiconum to show you a bit of this. His backstory is, he kind of came to the land of the Empire, and he had these extreme powers in wizardry, and eventually he grew more and more powerful, helped the College of Engineers, and then at some point there was a freak explosion in his lab and he was partially disfigured, so now he dons all these robes. And Andy Hall said that in the video that this is actually, the disfigurement is going to affect his voice and he's going to have a really creepy voice. Andy Hall also said that in contrast to Karl Franz, who has morale boosts on the battlefield and flies in on Deathclaw and has these powerful weapons, Balthazar Gelt is going to be more of an epic spellcaster who's sort of following his own agenda more than the noble and righteous Karl Franz. So cool differentiation of those two, and I really like that you get the duality of those two different lords in terms of their playstyle, in terms of how they handle. And I'm not actually sure if having a different lord will start you off in a different place on the campaign map. That's something that people have speculated on, but we've never really had confirmed. And here they're just showing a little bit more of the details of the armament made available to Karl Franz, so he's more of your cookie cutter guy. But then they started to show a little bit more of Balthazar Gelt, showing that really he has all these different items that will just boost his capacity to be an even more powerful spellcaster. So yeah, you can definitely push that to the extremes. Then finally they're going to wrap up this video by doing a little bit of a unit spotlight on the gyrocopters here, and they do specify that there are two types of gyrocopters. They have a steam gun and a brimstone gun. They'll show that briefly, but they also stated that these guys are fast and mobile, and a cool thing they said is they have high armor but low health. That means that there is a good counter to them, that being using armor piercing rounds against these guys. So I like that units have a pro and a con, and that's awesome. So the two weapons that I mentioned, the steam gun is what they're showing here. It has short range, wide impact, but it's inaccurate and has low armor penetration, so it's very good against soft targets of these goblins. The second weapon that you can use is going to be the Brimstone Gun, and this one is the one we're more used to, at least the one that was available for the demo. It's more accurate and it has armor piercing capabilities to snipe high value targets like the enemy Arachnarok and stuff like that. Then of course you have the bomb dropping ability. And I did want to mention that in the past I had asked the question, hey, do we get the Gyro Bomber, which is the upgrade to the gyrocopter? And they did say in the past that that was the case. We have not seen any, confirmation of that afterwards or any artwork, but that's super cool. I like to see this dwarf technology. Anyway, that's going to be it for the recap. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.